Have you ever stood in a room that held every secret you were never meant to see? The air in that storage unit, number 237, was cold, but my blood ran colder. It smelled of cheap perfume and stale lies. Before me lay a museum of my wife Sarah's betrayals, a king-size bed that had never been in our home. Shelves stacked with expensive gifts still in their boxes, and a small locked chest that I knew with a gut-trenching certainty held the worst of it. Each item was a nail in the coffin of our 10-year marriage, a monument to the countless men she'd entertained while I was at home, waiting for a woman who no longer existed. I didn't know what was in the chest, but I knew that opening it would be the beginning of her end. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel. Tell us where you're from and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. Our life, or the life I thought we had, was built on the quiet streets of Lincoln Park, Chicago. We had a brownstone on a tree-lined avenue, the kind of place people point to on architectural tours. I'm a structural engineer. I build things that last. I thought our marriage was one of them. Zara was a curator at a small, upscale art gallery in the West Loop. She was beautiful, intelligent, and had a way of making you feel like the only person in the world. It was a curated charm, I see that now. A performance she perfected over years of practice. The humiliation began subtly. It was in the way her friends, the wives of my colleagues, would look at me with a pity I didn't understand. It was the sudden silence when I'd walk into a room at a dinner party. They knew. The whole world seemed to know before I did. Her behavior grew strange. Her phone, once casually left on the kitchen counter, was now permanently attached to her hand, screen down. She started working late, gallery events and donor dinners that I was never invited to. When I'd call the gallery, the night guard would say everyone had left hours ago. When I asked her about it, her eyes would turn to ice. "Are you checking up on me, Tom? After everything I do for us, you don't trust me?" The manipulation was a masterclass. She'd twist my concern into an accusation, my love into a cage. She made me feel small, paranoid. The villains, her and whoever she was with, felt untouchable, wrapped in a cloak of her righteous indignation. The discovery wasn't a single moment, but a slow, agonizing bleed. A credit card bill for a room at the Langham on a night she was supposedly at her sister S. A receipt from a jeweler on Oak Street for a diamond tennis bracelet I'd never seen. Then the key. I found it in the pocket of a winter coat she hadn't worn in years. A small, unassuming key with a red plastic tag. Public Storage Unit 237. My heart hammered against my ribs. Why did Sarah, a woman who lived in a 4,000-square-foot house, need a storage unit? The emotional breakdown happened on a Tuesday. I'd followed her, my car a block behind her pristine white Range Rover. I watched her pull into the parking garage of a sleek condo building in River North. I watched a man, smug and handsome in a tailored suit, greet her with a kiss that wasn't meant for me. His name was Mark, a real estate developer I'd met once at a charity gala. They looked so comfortable, so entitled. I sat in my car for 3 hours, the Chicago skyline blurring through my tears. The man who built foundations felt his own crumble into dust. That was the night the loyal husband died and the strategist was born. I didn't confront her. Instead, I became a ghost in my own life, gathering proof with a cold, methodical fury. I hired a private investigator, a grizzled ex-cop, who documented every tryst, every secret lunch, every weekend getaway. I visited the storage units. Using a copy of the key I'd made, I stepped into the mausoleum of my marriage. I photographed everything. The bed, the gifts, the clothes, and then the chest. I picked the lock. Inside were journals. Years of them. Detailed accounts of her affairs, her contempt for me, her plans to leave me once she'd secured a more advantageous partner. She rated them, critiqued them, and laughed about how I was funding her lifestyle. It was all there, in her elegant looping script. The trap was set. Our 10th anniversary party was the stage. We'd planned it for months. A lavish affair at the Chicago Cultural Center, a place I'd helped restore. Everyone was there. Our friends, our families, my business partners, her gallery's board of directors, and Sarah was radiant in a silver dress, the diamond tennis bracelet Mark's gift sparkling on her wrist. She floated through the room, the perfect wife, the perfect hostess. Halfway through the evening, the music stopped. A massive screen I'd arranged to be installed descended from the ceiling. Sarah looked at me, a flicker of confusion in her eyes. "A little surprise for my amazing wife," I said, my voice steady. The public exposure was brutal. It started with photos. Sarah and Mark at the Langham. Sarah and Mark kissing in the parking garage. Then, photos from the storage unit. The bed, the shelves of gifts. The screen went black, and her voice filled the grand hall, reading from her journals, an audio file I'd had a voice actor create from the pages. "Tom is so predictable," her voice echoed, dripping with disdain. "He thinks this marriage is a fortress. Doesn't realize I built the back door myself." The room was utterly silent. I saw her face, the color draining from it, her arrogant smile collapsing into a mask of pure horror. I saw Mark slip out a side door like the coward he was. I saw our parents staring, their faces etched with shame. The final slide was a copy of the divorce petition I had filed that morning, citing adultery and a restraining order. She was ruined. The gallery fired her. Her friends abandoned her. Her family was disgusted. The divorce was swift and merciless. The prenuptial agreement held, but the evidence I presented to the court ensured she got nothing more. The judge called her actions an act of profound and calculated cruelty. She lost everything because she was careless enough to believe I was weak. I sold the brownstone. I don't live in Chicago anymore. Sometimes, late at night, I think about that storage unit. I wonder if she ever went back for her trophies, or if they're still there, gathering dust in the dark. The end.